draw the sun with the stars and the moon. I can draw anything. How about you?
Ready, set, draw!
Hi everyone, my name is Isabella Kung and I'm the author and illustrator of the picture book No Fuzzball. This book is about a sassy, majestic, and attention-seeking black cat named Fuzzball, and she is the queen of the house and is accustomed to a high level of worship by her subjects. I mean family. Just hear how they scream her name everywhere she goes. No Fuzzball! No Fuzzball! No Fuzzball! I'm here to show you how to draw my one and only true queen. I'll show you how to draw with guidelines. I'll show you how to draw her majestic and beautiful fur coat, and maybe a little bit of expressions at the end. So follow along, and all you really need is some sketchbook paper. Any drawing paper will do. And I would like you to also use pencil. Any pencil is good. Black color pencil or a marker and an eraser, just in case, right? All right, I'll see you at the drawing board. All right, with all my supplies here, I'm ready to get started. So first, I'm gonna take my pencil and we're gonna draw some guidelines. Now, before we draw those guidelines, I want you to hold your pencil in a new way, like pinching it on the side and laying it against the paper like so. You see how much more lead and color area I can get? I can get very thick and soft lines. Like normally you hold a pencil like this, right? And I'll just show you real quick. If I draw a circle here versus all these soft lines I'm making, it's so easy to erase those soft lines when you're pinching it on the side, but it's so difficult to erase it like the way you normally hold your pencil. It's much darker and it's much harder lines. So you want to avoid that for your guidelines. You want to make something as soft as possible, and when you are done with your drawing, you can erase all those guidelines and nobody would even know you used them. It will be a little secret. So now we're ready and we know how to do it. Let's start drawing them. I'm going to start drawing an oval, and I'm going to draw it not in the center of the page. I'm going to give a little bit space on the right side here. So I'm going to draw an oval over here, like so. And that will represent Fuzzball's head. And now right underneath of it, I'm going to draw an even bigger oval, almost like a circle, that overlaps a little bit. And that will be Fuzzball's body. And it's okay if you drew it a few times. I certainly did. It's hard to draw a perfect oval immediately. But again, these are just guidelines. It doesn't need to show up in your final drawing, so you can erase it if you feel like you went too far, or you can just leave it and erase it towards the end. So now I have my guidelines. I know exactly where to put things. I know all her eyes and ears and nose are all gonna be around in this oval, and her paws will be down here, because if you don't have it and just have a blank page, it's so easy to draw like an eye over here or an eye all the way over there, and that's too far and it's not gonna look like Fuzzball. So I need to get my queen's likeness just right. So now I have my first guideline. I'm gonna go in the middle of the oval and I'm gonna draw an upside down triangle with my marker, and that will be her nose. And then I'm gonna draw her mouth right underneath of it, which is one dash down and two dashes to the side, almost like a triangle that you didn't finish. And now I have my nose. I know exactly where to put her eyes, which would be right here, right next to each other, right? So a little bit above the nose, I'm gonna draw a line right here, and then I'm gonna draw another line right here. And those are her eyes, because she is full of attitude, right? And I'm gonna draw a half circle underneath her first eye, and then I'm gonna be a little closer, another half circle on the other eye. So that's the outside of her eyes. Then I'm going to draw her pupils. So another half circle here, another half circle here. And you know, she's a very healthy feline. She is, and beautiful, and her eyes sparkle. So we're going to have a little highlight in her eyes too. So I'm going to draw a tiny circle up here and a tiny circle in here. That's the light reflecting in her eyes. And I'm going to color her pupil all around that tiny little circle. She's already sparkly and full of life by just doing that. And then, now I have her eyes, I'm gonna draw her ears. So looking again at that oval, I know her top of her head is right here, right? So I'm gonna go around looking from the edge of her eyes. I'm gonna draw over here, draw an angle right here. Again, like a triangle that's not finished at the bottom. And then same on the other side. Edge of her right eye, move up near the guideline. Another ear. And there we have her ears. And now I'm gonna start drawing her hair, her fur, her beautiful royal fur coat. So starting on the top of her head, that's the shortest little hairs that she has. I'm going to draw little dashes just like that. And pay attention, I am flicking upwards, right? And then in her ear, I'm going to flick to a little bit to the side that way. And you know why I'm flicking like this? Because those lines really look like hair. I'm going to exaggerate a little bit. If you zoom in and take one piece of your own hair, whether from your head or your eyebrows, or a little piece of hair that your kitty or doggy dropped, and you put it under a microscope and zoom close, super close, you will see something like this. The part where it grows out of your head is the thickest, and the part that is the furthest away is the thinnest, and that's called a tapered line, and that's really what hair looks like. So when I do this, when I'm drawing fur or hair, it really helps look like the real thing. So I am moving from inside of the body to out. So when it's the top of the head, I'm going in, flicking up. From the side of the head, I'm going inward from the left, flicking out. And the same thing for the other side. Flick, flick, flick. And sometimes I can even go a little bit zigzag when her hair kind of clumps together. It will kind of form that little shape. So now I have the top of her face done. And where these ovals interact is around where her neck is. But her royal fur coat is so majestic and so fluffy, you don't really have to really show her neck. It's kind of like when you're wearing a winter puffy jacket. You can hide all kinds of things in there. You can put toys in there, you can hide snacks in there, you can be skinny in there or really strong and big underneath, but nobody's gonna know because your jacket is so puffy. So her royal fur coat is the same way. It's gonna hide a lot of her body, but at least I know what her bodies look like. So I'm gonna ignore that part that is in the middle. I'm just gonna keep drawing her fur down. So as you can see, I'm drawing longer and longer hair as I move lower in her body. And I'm not gonna finish all of this whole circle because she's gonna have to stand on something, right? So I'm gonna draw a line through this near the bottom of the big circle. And that is where the ground is. So now I've done her overall outside of her body. I'm gonna move inside. So in the middle of the second big guideline oval, I'm gonna start drawing a little bit of chest here. It's a little bit of zigzag shape. And then in the middle over here, I'm gonna draw one dotted dashy line right down the middle. And that is where her arms are gonna be, because she is sitting with her arms together like a proper queen. And on the other side, I'm gonna dash downward like this, finishing up her beautiful arm. And we're gonna draw her little paws at the bottom. And paws is kind of like the alphabet C. So I'm gonna draw 3 little C's over here, and then I'm gonna flip it and draw 3 more opposite C's on the other side. And now we have her lovely little paws. So what's missing? You guessed it, her tail. And you can move it anywhere you want. If you have a bigger size paper, you can do it on the left side. But since I made room on the right, I'm gonna put her tail curling up on the right. So thinking, just imagine it going this side, and you're just gonna keep flicking from inside to outside. And then the more further out you have all of these little fur lines, the more fluffy it's gonna look. Fluffy tail. I wish I had a fluffy tail. So now that's done, what else are we missing? Her whiskers, kitties, and doggies too. They all have whiskers around their eyes and their lips. And whiskers are really just very similar to hair, except that they're longer and they're much thicker. So for Fuzzball, she has 3 on the top, flick down to up, down to up. And then she has 3 really long whiskers on the side of her lips. The one thing about kitty is they really need their whiskers, so never ever trim a queen or a feline or a kitty's whiskers, because kitties are really good eyesight, seeing things very far away or seeing things in the dark, but they kind of can't really notice things that are very close to their face, so they use their whiskers to sense the world around them. Now we have that, we have one more thing that's missing. Can you guess what it is? Yes, it's her crown. She is the queen. We're gonna adorn her with crowns and jewelry. So this, you can do whatever you want for the crown. You can give her a tiara, or I'm gonna just give her a simpler crown over here. Little dots on the top and maybe a heart in the middle, because even though she is full of attitude, she is also full of heart. Little dots for decorating. And remember that guideline I said right in the middle that symbolizes her neck? Now here's another useful part. You can give her a collar, you can give her a necklace, which I plan to do over here, and you can even give her really anything you decide you like. There you go. There she is, looking like a proper queen. Now, after drawing this, do you want to learn how to draw a few more different expressions? So when I try to draw different expression on the face, I can really convey a lot of different emotions. And this, we have attitude kitty, or attitude fuzzball. Let's try to draw a happy version. And I'm going to use some tracing paper to lay on top of this and redraw her face very quickly. It's exactly the same way that we started with. And you can feel free to use tracing paper for this technique too, if you want to save some time. Or you can draw it all over again on a new sheet of paper. Practice makes perfect, so it's always good to draw it again. Same thing, her nose is not changed, but going downward, her mouth is going to be smiling. So think of the number 3, but laid on its side. See, there we go. Already a very cute smile. But what about her eyes? They say eyes are the windows to a person's soul, and it's true. So instead of giving attitude, she is going to have a very nice oval shape for her eye over here. Same thing over here. So you see the oval shape? And let's see, what are we gonna look at? Maybe she's so happy she's looking at her crown. So instead of half circles that we did earlier, we're gonna do another circle, hugging the top of the eyeball oval here. And then of course we still have to have those little highlights in here. I'm gonna color it in very quickly. And there you have it. She is looking up and feeling super happy about it, about her little crown. And of course, don't forget her whiskers again. Flicking inside to outside. Happy kitty! Happy fuzzball, attitude fuzzball. Now let's do one more. What about surprised fuzzball? So, how do you look when you're surprised? You're gonna open your eyes super wide, and maybe your jaw would even drop, right? So again, I'm gonna draw very quickly to show a little bit of her face, just so you can compare it to my old drawing. So surprised kitty are even gonna open her eyes even wider. Oh my, oh my. So it's almost an oval, but a little pointy on the edge here. And her nose are still going to be the same, a little dash down, and this time It's still kind of the two dashes on the side, like an unfinished triangle, but instead of a line, I'm gonna draw a curve. Like she's opening up. Do you see this? Oh, she already looks surprised, but we gotta finish her eyes up first. So kitties are really good with eyesight, right? She can really expand their pupils really big, or put it into a tiny little slit like this. Doesn't she look surprised already? Okay, so using her split, let's finish up her mouth. You're gonna see her little teeth because she's a kitty when she opens her mouth. And I'm gonna color that in. And there you have surprise kitty! Surprise fuzzball. And her whiskers are gonna expand a little bit too. Look how surprised she looks. So, happy fuzzball. Surprised fuzzball. Attitude fuzzball. Thank you so much for drawing with me. I hope you had a lot of fun, and I hope you know how to draw with guidelines now, how to draw fur, and maybe play around with different expressions. And you know what about those guidelines? You can't even see them, right? They're pretty awesome, and if you really don't want anybody to see it, just erase it. Thank you again. I hope you have a lovely day. Keep drawing and keep creating. Bye!